was just as good as any of the stuntmen.
He's very, very, very athletic.
Very athletic. I mean, just a natural. Oh, sorry. No.
That's the last nice thing I want to say.
Visible
Just to make it not about you. I'm like, have you ever heard of reflex? No. I haven't had anything to eat today. Jenny? Jenny? No. Pizza?
Yes, I'll work on it.
Okay, sorry. So, we had like we were in between shots, and Andy and I happened to be on our horses. And then, I don't know if you remember this, but he looked at me, he goes, "You want to race?" And I was a little bit more conservative at that time. Now I'll do anything. But I looked around and I was like, "Is it okay?" And he goes, and I said, "Yeah." And we hauled ass. I mean, I think that was the fastest I'd ever been on a horse. Like, we were just, and Andy was just ahead of me. And I was like,
It was my horse.
yeah, we were, yeah. And when we came back, Richard Lilly said, "God damn it, get off those horses. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Get off those horses."
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the level of professionalism that we were, like, they wanted us to be safe, not get hurt, don't run the horses too hard.
Yeah.
You know, but you got two young guys on Western, you know, you want to race. I think
Well, I will
you
say
did
that
win, though.
the best and the worst are not here.
What?
You said the best and worst are not here?
Yes.
She came up and told all of us individually that
Yeah. I just told I was the best. Wait, I think it's the arrow.
it can't be Michael. Wait a minute. Who's left?
I would venture it's Eric #1 and Ron #7. That would be my guess.
Yeah, Ron and Michael.
I spent time as a PA watching you guys ride. It wasn't
At least at the beginning.
who was good at it, who
At the
wasn't.
beginning.
Oh,
At the beginning.
Ron and Michael
All
were
right.
about tied for last.
Michael didn't like being on that horse.
you should
No,
see
he doesn't.
Michael one shot. We were riding across the field, just bolt across the field, cameras right in front of Michael, and that horse would not stop. You just see Michael, the hero, going,
Hey, Rick.
I do know. Yes.
What kind of pizza?
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
You want money?
I got money.
I'm a vegetarian, but I eat.
Oh, that's right. I almost. Oh, okay, I'm so glad you're on money.
I'm good.
Pizza? You guys
I'm
do?
good.
I'll say I will have a pizza. All right.
Okay. Are you allergic to anything, or?
No.
"You guys want to go outside and talk?"
No. I will say
You want to
that.
write down your order?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I love you. Thank you. I haven't had anything except this one. I will say that the pilot, you learned a lot over the years. You know, now 25 years in the industry, but the pilot was my first big thing. You know, I did a show called Murder One right before that. It was like a guest recurring. But to be on a pilot is a different experience, you know, in every way, not just financially, but in terms of what you're able to do and the power that you have. And we're out shooting in Arizona, like you said, Tombstone and a couple other places. And every night, someone would hand me an envelope packed full of money.
Not every night.
Well, not every night. Once a week, right?
You got it every night for something.
No, second.
Selling something.
But I had a wad full of money. Well, that's before that. And it's per diem, right? I never had per diem before. So I would take the per diem, go out with Tony, we went out a few times, and hit the bar after shooting, and we actors love to do that. And I didn't notice, but my waist was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they noticed. And
Wardrobe noticed.
Dan came up to me right around the end of the third week of shooting, because it was a 4-week shoot, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "Rick, not matching what we filmed on day one." And I said, Dan, what do you mean? He said,
Am I still black? Son of a gun.
And he said that I had picked up a significant amount of weight, and I said, okay. So I noticed that I wasn't able to quickly mount my horse like I was, you know, the first day. And anyway, to make a long story short, John came up to me and he said, "You're doing wonderful work. We're happy to have you here, but if this pilot gets picked up, you got to drop 25 pounds."
It makes you feel any better if you had that conversation with him before on his side.
Yeah, but like,
I've gotten the same thing. You want to really be a leading man?
Yeah.
You got to lose about 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, man, let's do it.
And I'm looking at Dale and Tony and Michael and these guys all look great every day, and I was the one that was picking up the extra weight, you know. So I don't know how you guys did it, but you know,
Well,
you weren't stuffing your face with chocolate
like
like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we had a couple of drinks.
No, I didn't drink at all during the pilot. When I made that choice.
Really?
I did.
I didn't. It was fun, you know, to pilot the van in the
all
morning and see all them hung over.
I made up for it too. Yeah, my favorite memory of the pilot was instead of getting the hotel money and staying way down in town. How far was that from set to the?
It was like a 10-mile trek down that
It was
road.
30, 40
He
minutes.
was going to Winnebago.
I drove a 38-foot motorhome from LA to the hills and parked it up there and stayed there the whole month. And,
I remember I came to the set and he goes, "Hey, let's go hang out at my trailer." And I thought we were just going back to like the honey wagon. There's a giant RV with TVs and couches. Come in, 6 packs. "Here, dude, have a beer." And I'm like, "Dude, this is awesome." It's like, this happened for every act. He's like, "No, I just drove this out here." I'm like, whoa.
You had some companies in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple
you
times.
did.
There was
There's some, yeah.
So yeah, that was fun because at the end of the day, everybody would rap, and a lot of the wranglers and everybody stayed up there as well. So it'd be 20 of us at night and campfire and have cocktails and have a really good time.
For each of you, what was your audition? Was it in the pilot actually itself, or did you?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question.
I believe it was.
So I'll start with me, work over, I guess. I auditioned for it, and this is actually kind of an interesting story. It's kind of all coming back to me now. I really wanted this job because I thought the character was so interesting, and it's something I'd never gotten a chance to do before, and you hardly ever get a chance to do a Western, period. And I just thought the guy could be colorful and interesting, and so I fought really hard just to read for it, the initial reading. I think it was Jane Jenkins was the casting director, and brought us in for John Watson Pendentium and Walter Mirisch, and just kind of read like at a conference table, like the head of the table and everybody sitting around. So it was just a regular reading, and then there was the process of where you go and read for the network. And that's a real stressful situation because you negotiate everything in advance, and you're seeing all this money, and I had a 6-week-old baby, and I'm like, I could really use that.
Was that Garrett?
Yes, and who's now almost 18. And so I went in and I read for the studio and the network at the same time. It was Les Moonves, of course, from CBS, and John Symes, who was the head at that time of MGM TV. And God bless him, because here's what happened with me. I read for that. It went very well, but Peter Golden, the head of casting for CBS, said, no, it's not going to happen. And I kept bugging my agent going, just ask if they cast somebody else, ask if they cast somebody. And so I had to keep nudging Peter Golden to see if they cast somebody else. This went on for about a month. And finally Peter Golden said, will you please tell him that Tony Stark will never play Ezra?
Wow.
Okay, that came from CBS.
Wow.
On Good Friday, I got a phone call from my agent at the time saying, can you be on a plane Monday to go to Arizona? You got this part. You're going for 5 weeks. And I'm like, how? What happened? John Symes from MGM refused to cast anybody else. So he just waited until it was too late. He doesn't cast anybody else, and so he got the part. So I was like the last to get cast.
Awesome. In the pilot. Come on up there with you. In the One Day Out West.
Yeah.
And where the two of you have a dialogue, and you're in in jail, and you'll, now that we're rid of the lonesome curmudgeon, you can,
Yeah.
expedite my.
I always took my dialogue and kind of elevated the language to the point of being unintelligible.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah.